Let me tell you about a candle maker in Hamilton. Real situation, the kind we see every week. She built a tidy little business, and about a third of the orders were coming from the US every week. She had good margin, happy customers, and things were growing fast. Then one morning in 2024, things changed. Her shipping app started throwing errors, things started getting held up at the border, something had changed. She tried to figure out what was going on. And since then, she turned off US shipping, just shut it off, and she's been leaving that third of her revenue on the table ever since. That is you. If you're the Canadian seller that turned off the US business because it got confusing, this is the video that turns it back on for you. I'm Tony from ShipSavvy. Let me tell you a little bit about us before we get too far into this. We are not a software company that's just watching from the sidelines. We also run our own e-commerce businesses, and we ship across the border every single day. So when Section 321 went away, we weren't reading about it like everyone else. We were living it and solving it every day. So here's what we're going to be covering today. What actually changed in plain English, what it really costs to ship to the US today, because it's a lot simpler than people think, why where your product is made can swing your costs more than anything else, and the simple way to turn US shipping back on without having to become a customs expert. We'll show you how. So here's the thing everyone keeps talking about. Section 321, it's gone. So for years, there was this rule called de minimis, and it basically means it was the value that the government didn't really care for you to file paperwork on and to claim duty on top of. It used to be that the threshold was about $800. So as long as the package was less than $800, it could be cleared easily, no paperwork, things would flow fast. And for a long time, that is how most of us shipped, and we didn't even really think about it. On August 29th, 2024, that exemption ended for the whole world. At this point, it had already been gone for goods coming from China for a few months, but this made it gone for good for everyone. Here's the part that catches everyone off guard. Everything feels like it's formal now. Formal entry just means your shipment goes through a proper clearance process. It's technically a little bit different depending on the value, but the requirements are largely the same. You need to define a lot more, you need to provide a lot more information. There's no more letting it ship across the border without any information. So now whether you're a big seller or a small seller, it's the same process for both. A small parcel importer now deals with essentially the same type of requirements that a large container importer does as well. That's the shift, and that is why our candle maker in Hamilton saw things change overnight. Now here's the fear. Most people assume that as soon as you have duties and taxes and formal entry costs, the math to make a profitable product is dead. In fact, it isn't. In a lot of cases for products made in North America, things can cost as little as a few extra dollars to cross into the US. It's just a matter of declaring things properly. That's right, that's it. It can be as little as $2 to clear a product into the US. Now that's not free, and that doesn't work for everybody. It's a real cost, and it needs to be factored in. But think about what that cost is buying you back. It's buying you back access to the entire US market that is potentially shut off right now for you. A couple of dollars per package might be worthwhile to reopen this giant revenue stream for you. And if you dig into the numbers and it makes sense, it might be the easiest yes for your business. And the sellers who understood this early are the ones that are taking the business from the nervous sellers that are still hesitating on reopening that market. Here's the lever nobody talks about, and it can matter more than what carrier you choose. It's where your product is actually made. If your product is made in Canada, the US, or Mexico, it can often move freely across the border because of the trade agreements that are in place. So a Canadian-made product going into the US can often have no duty at all. That's a real edge that Canadian sellers have that they may not even realize. But if your product's made somewhere else, the country of origin can change everything. You could have the exact same product made in two different factories and have completely two different duty costs. I've seen it where product from one country can get hit really hard with duties and another country can be much more favorable. The classic example right now is China versus Vietnam. We're seeing China get hit with large duties, and Vietnam often is bundled in with everybody else, and so it's not as aggressively tariffed right now. So here's your practical takeaway. Go have a look at where your products are actually manufactured, not necessarily where they're made. Sometimes if there's enough manufacturing or adjustments done to a product, the country of manufacture can change based on definition. Oftentimes you also have the ability to get a product manufactured for a similar cost and a similar quality in a different country that can make a meaningful difference to the price you can charge or the margin for your company. How to actually do it. Okay, so how do you turn this back on without having to learn customs codes overnight? That's really the simple part. Step one, sign up for ShipSavvy and you connect your store. If you sell on any of the big marketplaces like Shopify or Amazon or use ShipStation, you connect your integration once and the orders just start flowing in. You don't have to copy addresses by hand or upload spreadsheets every morning. Our integrations can do that all for you. Honestly, our goal is for you to spend as little time in the platform itself so that you can spend more time out on the floor packaging orders or helping customers. Step two, the customs get handled all behind the scenes by Savvy Broker. That's our in-house custom solution that is designed to help with this. It figures out the HTS code And an HTS code is just the classification number that the government needs to know what duties to charge and what type of product it is. It can provide you with a HTS number, or it can validate the one you provide. It can calculate the customs, and it will file all the brokerage things for you, so you don't need to become the expert. Step 3, you start saving money on real shipping. Because we move more than 2 million packages a year, we have rates that a lot of people can't compete with, and you can shop those right in the platform. This is often where sellers can save up to 80% over what they're paying now by just getting access to other carriers and different options. And this can usually offset any sort of brokerage costs that we see. So let's put a bow on it. Yes, you can still ship from the US to Canada. It's often just a couple more dollars than what you might expect, and it's not always the wall of duties and taxes that everyone expects. Depending on the country that your product is made in, it can often come across duty-free, or we can help you get the estimates for what it would cost at no risk, and you'll be fully aware of what it will actually cost to import your products and sell them to your customers. And that complicated customs part that's scaring off all of your competitors, we'll just take care of that in the background for you so that you can continue selling to your customers. So here's how I think about it. You could go all learn this yourself, and you probably could. The de minimis rules, the HTS codes, the different options available, you'd get this figured out. It would just take you some time. And you'd probably feel like you're a part-time customs broker at that point. Or you could focus on what you do best. That's keep running your business and leave that part to us. We make that super simple. You can just go to ShipSavvy.com, sign up for a free account, upload your product information, and begin getting estimates right away. It's no risk, it's no cost. And you can start today. Just connect your store and you can get that US market back. So that's it for this one. If it helped, please subscribe. We're getting into some things that other sellers get wrong in the next video.